Welcome to theater class, lesson 1. How are you guys doing? I hope you're safe. I hope you're sane. And I'm so grateful that you're joining me today. I know that this is cuckoo bananas, meeting and talking like this, but I'm happy that you're here and I'm happy to talk about art. This is our lesson 1, and I want to remind you that you have a couple of assignments due. The first is what you're passionate about, and that you can email directly to me. And the second is something that you find artful, and that I would like you to put on the discussion board, so that way the rest of the class can see what it is that you find artful. You're going to either take a picture of it or describe it and say why it's artful to you, maybe 4 or 5 sentences. And this way we can get to know each other. Before I go further into the lecture, I am fighting a cold or allergies or something, so I will be taking sips of water, so I beg your pardon for that. And then occasionally I'll cough. I'll try to do so like that, but I might exhibit bad hygiene and do this. So, let me tell you a story. When I was living in New York, there was a particular artful exhibit that I remember. We went to a gallery, and there was pictures all around the walls of beautiful pastoral scenes. So it would be scenes of farms and farm animals. And we looked around and we ate our wine and cheese, and we thought, okay, this is cool. And then the artist came out and everyone clapped. And he said, thank you so much. I know that you think that what you've been looking around us was art, but the art is actually in the food that you're eating. Every single thing that you're eating has been prepared with human breast milk. Is that art? A lot of the people went and they spit everything out. They're like, gross. I was like, it's pretty good. It was the late 90s, so you could kind of get away with that. What's one important thing you need to know if you're eating something with human breast milk? Where's the mom? Is it like some crackhead mom that you're drinking and consuming stuff that they've consumed? That's something you have to think about. But it really made us delve further into what we put into our bodies. Now, for many years, human breast milk was how we fed our young. Formula came out relatively later on, and he was making a statement about what we put into our bodies. Again, I don't know if he could get away with it right now. His next exhibit was on last meals. Let me give you another quick example. This was about a woman who was able to make herself into a human Etch-a-Sketch. She would scratch her body, and there would be blood, and it would coagulate immediately. And she could very intricately and painfully draw on herself these intricate scenes. Is that art? What's art? What makes something art? If you go outside and you look in the parking lot and you find a drawing by a child, would you be like, hey, that's art? Or would you have to know that child? What if that drawing was in your driveway, and what if it was your niece or nephew or child? Does that make that more artful? The definitions of art are so varied. And for the intents and purposes of this class, I'm going to narrow that focus down. And this is by no way a overall, overarching definition of art. But for this class, I'm going to give you a little something. Okay, I'm going to narrow it down and focus your words. Art is that which is created for artistic purpose or an aesthetic purpose. It is the conscious use of skill and creative imagination, especially in the production of aesthetic objects. Let me say that again. Art is the conscious use of skill and creative imagination, especially in the production of aesthetic objects. So you're using your creativity to make something that's unique and that's uniquely yours, that has your fingerprint. And that's why personal expression, your own likes and dislikes, are going to be indicative in your art. And you can see that really in everything. Let me show you my cell phone. Hello Kitty. How many 40-something-year-olds like Hello Kitty? Maybe not many. I know that I'm pushing the envelope with my family and my Hello Kitty aesthetic, but to me that's cute and that's artful, and that's something that I hold on to. I heard a rumble. Hopefully it wasn't an earthquake. When I'm recording this today, there was an earthquake in El Paso. How's that for art? Under the definition that I just gave you, a chair could be art. And I want you to think about the chair that you're sitting. If it's created by an artist, but not if it's created by a factory. Because when things get homogenized and there's lots and lots like it, it becomes less artful. At one point, I'm sure this pen was artful. I mean, there was an artful design. There's, you can't see it, but there's an artful, it says it's a Papermate pen. But would you look at it and necessarily think of it as art? Yes, if you paused and stopped and really thought about it. But because there's so many of these, chances are you'll just forget them. Like it's not even going to really matter because you get used to seeing that. So the more you see of something, the less artful it becomes. You see that in jeans. You see that in cell phone cases. You even see that if back in the day, in my day, when you go to the store and pick out something beautiful, maybe a beautiful dress, there might be 3 or 4 just like it. So that unique beauty, once there's more and more of it, becomes less artful. I'm going to give you a quick, that was my phone ringing. I'm going to give you a quick list of the fine arts that I want you to know. The first is painting, drawing, music, dance, literature, and theater. Again, that's painting, drawing, music, dance, literature, and theater. Painting, drawing, music, dance, literature, and theater. Those are what you're going to need to know for this class as the fine arts. Know that your personal expression influences movements and styles. What you like, what you consider to be artful, ultimately will influence movements and styles. I'm old. I'm patently uncool. And it took me a long time to understand or know who Lizzo was. But once I heard it, enough people liked her music and loved what she had to offer that it influenced my style, because then I heard it and I was like, just put your hair back. I have a horrible voice. You know, I was like, oh, now you're influencing me. So I cannot believe I just tried to sing in my first lesson when I have a cold. But there it is. That's my art. So remember to turn in your assignments, what's artful to you, what you're passionate about, and know that art varies from person to person. Know what the fine arts are, and we'll see you in lesson 2. You're the best.